Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Valerie Z, the founder of Spiritual Cardio, a 10-week group coaching program that teaches women how to make peace with their inner truth and practice self-love, where we heal in community by interrogating our inner demons until they lose power over us. I'm bringing you the powerful spiritual practices that helped birth my transformation because I want the same for you. I'm going to teach you how to build a love story with yourself and your inner child. So let's go. I'm sure you guys know by now how much I love doing this show. I pour my heart and soul into each episode to create a ripple effect of healing and self-awareness in the world. And you guys can help me make that little ripple into a wave. So I ask that if you find value in this episode, or if you had any aha moments, or if you think people need to hear this, or if the show helps you navigate your life in a more positive direction, please share the show. It would mean so much to me if you would do that. And now let's get into it. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Spiritual Cardio Podcast. This is episode 16. I wanted to talk about synchronicity and the law of attraction, because when you are doing your inner work, you are going to start paying attention. Well, hopefully you start paying attention to how the universe is trying to speak to you. You might notice how things you think about tend to pop up. It could be a car, it could be a book someone recommended, and then it pops up again later on a store window, or another friend mentions it. Synchronicity is real, you guys, and it happens throughout your growth journey, throughout your evolution. But that's only if we're paying attention to the signs. And synchronicity is like the universe trying to direct you somewhere, trying to direct you in the direction of your destiny. And the reason I share so much of my story is because I would not be doing this right now had the universe not been working in my favor. Like, the universe pushed me to go inward for answers. It showed me the connection between my childhood traumas and my adult behaviors. In showing me that, and doing some introspection, I was able to clear blockage. And in clearing blockage, you get to know your soul. You start connecting with your soul. And in connecting with your soul, you align your heart and your soul become one. My heart's deepest desires were being broadcasted out to the world. So if you're struggling, I'm here to tell you that there's purpose in what you're going through. You just have to do some introspection, right? Some self-reflection on what you're going through. What are these painful, challenging moments of your life trying to teach you? They're trying to get your attention. That negative emotion is calling you to pay attention to it, because negative emotions are like a roadmap into our inner thorns. And of course, it's uncomfortable. I'm not saying that this is easy, but there is purpose in what we go through, because the universe is ushering us toward aligning with our soul, because there's something greater within us that needs to be expressed through that connection. And that only happens when we take the time to examine our behaviors, when we take the time to understand ourselves, And so synchronicity is a concept that was first introduced by an analytical psychologist called Carl Jung to describe circumstances or events that appear meaningfully connected, but they don't have causal connection. In other words, meaningful coincidences. And Jung believed that coincidences are not due to chance, but rather directly related to the observer's mind, so the person experiencing the event, and serve as powerful insights, spiritual direction, guidance from the universe. Think of it as like aha moments, but profound aha moments where you're just like, okay, that was weird, but okay, right? Like, just that's what I mean. So pay attention to dreams, pay attention to symbols, numbers, just random things, conversations that seem to come up coincidentally with different people. Once you become more in tune with your spirit, you start noticing these things. You start paying attention to the things that you always think about tend to pop up. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean by that from my own story. But synchronicity can aid you in just awakening your potential because it's going to guide you in the direction of your dreams. The messages from the universe are everywhere. We just have to pay attention. It's so funny because for 2 years straight, I kept seeing the number 918, 918, 918 on the clock. Every time I looked at the clock, for some reason, it was always 918. And it's freaking fascinating how my sobriety date is 9/1/2018. And after I got sober, I stopped seeing 918 on the clock as often as I was. That was an aha moment throughout the last few years for me was, oh my God, I kept seeing that number, 918. Then it turns out that 9/1/2018 happened to be my sobriety date. So that's one example, but I believe that the universe conspires to send us what we ask for energetically, what our energy flows to, whether that's positive or negative. So we have to clean up our mind because negativity can flow to us as well. And we're living beings, right? Just as plants, trees, animals, we're all made up of cells. And our thoughts are cellular energy that we release into the universe, attracting events, situations, what have you, into our physical life. So when we're thinking, we're intending. When we are thinking, we are intending something, right? We are inviting something in. That's the law of attraction. Thoughts are a form of energy. A lot of the time we miss the signs because we're not paying attention. We're not in alignment. Everything and everyone we come across serves a purpose. And as you do your inner work, as you clean up your energy, as you clear your blockage of energy, you can become an effective listener of the universe. You can become an effective observer of the universe and these signs because you become the co-creator of your life. You're no longer just being pulled through life. You actually become a co-creator of your life. In other words, you can design the life you want when you start clearing your blocked energy. So pay attention to the conversations you're having. Everything serves a purpose, you guys. Do the conversations you're having accelerate your energy? Do they deplete your energy? What are the conversations you're having about Do they inspire creativity? Do they inspire ideas? Do they spark a philosophical engine that's been idle? Pay attention to what sets your spirit on fire. Pay attention to what makes your heart feel alive. And then you start noticing those things that make you feel more alive start popping up, or your heart's deepest desires. I would say, hey, be inquisitive while on your path. And look around, pay attention, be observant, learn to interpret and apply the messages you receive to your story. It's really important to apply these aha moments or these moments of synchronicity, to apply them to your unique story. So when I started my spiritual journey, I wrote a list of qualities that I wanted to embody. And one of the goals that I wrote down was, I want to write books that help ease the suffering of women. And several weeks later, I matched with the woman on a dating app. And while we were on a date, she told me she was a clairvoyant. And what she told me just blew me away, because what she told me was something that was on that list. And so she said, I don't mean to scare you, but I feel like I need to tell you something. And of course I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. And she said, I'm a clairvoyant, and I just want to tell you that your soul is on a mission. Your soul came here because it saw suffering and wanted to help. So that is a clear example of synchronicity right there, right? I was doing my spiritual work. I was clearing my energy. And I wrote down this list of characteristics that I wanted to embody and goals that I have. I was aligning with my dreams. And I got this message from this person I didn't know. We didn't end up dating, but that wasn't the point. The point was that she entered my life just to pass a message along from a different dimension, right? She was there to affirm something. That was a loud example of synchronicity. And a few months later, I went to a personal growth conference. It's called the Best You Expo. And me and my friend decided to go into a spiritual advisor stage, where there was a spiritual advisor on stage, and she was talking about spiritual work and how it can help you evolve and become a better version of yourself. And while she was on stage, she was pointing to different people and telling them something about their destiny, just randomly. Like, I had never seen this person before. And she pointed to me and she said, you need to be writing. And you're not writing because your emotions are blocking you. People need your story. And again, another aha moment, right? Never saw this person before, but I had already written that list. I knew I wanted to be an author. I'm on my way to being an author, by the way. I'm not there yet, but I've known that I want to be an author since I was 13 years old. So that will happen in the next few years. But the point is, here, I meet these complete strangers who are affirming these deep desires that I've had in me for a long time. But as you do your spiritual work, you are unblocking the energy that attracts these messages into your life to point you in the direction of your destiny. It's like the universe is saying, that thing that you've been feeling for so long, that thing that you deeply want in your heart, but that scares you, that you're not sure if you can do it or not, like, that's the exact direction you need to go in. That is your purpose. So pay attention to the messages. Sometimes they're subtle, sometimes they're loud. The universe presents these exchanges in our lives to direct us, to aid us in manifesting our innermost desires, and to really unearth our brilliance. Like, had I not started my inner work many years ago, I wouldn't be so in tune with myself and my writing and doing the podcast and creating this content, creating the content of spiritual cardio that helps women transform their lives. So the universe conspires to make all of these little things add up to something special, to something monumental. Hey ladies, are you curious about doing your inner work? Are you ready to dig deep and start loving yourself on a spiritual level? Are you interested in reaching a higher level of consciousness? If so, then this may be just what you're looking for. Spiritual Cardio is a course in transformational wisdom that combines traditional spiritual practices with real life experience. At Spiritual Cardio, we heal in community where we can be vulnerable and raw, because when one woman speaks her truth, she begins to heal, and she opens the door for another woman to speak hers. At Spiritual Cardio, every lesson is designed with you in mind. That includes practical tools with relatable real-life examples. At Spiritual Cardio, we help identify and release energetic blocks so that you can become the architect of your destiny. Head over to valeriezapeta.com to read the powerful testimonials from previous clients and register for an upcoming session. Group and one-on-one coaching is available. All sessions are live and in real time. Now back to the show. I believe the universe is always speaking to us, guiding us to help us align with our soul, to help us align our heart with our soul and our mind. And when you start aligning these messages of synchronicity with your heart and your intuition, you're on your way to actualizing your destiny. And it's a journey, of course, so don't get impatient. Of course, you're going to be scared along the way. Of course, you're going to question whether, this is the right path. Of course, but you have to stay true to your heart's innermost desires. And the purpose of synchronicity is to keep pointing you in that direction. So I think lists are powerful ways to set intentions, powerful ways to call the universe in so that those messages can start reaching you. So make a list of what you want, your goals, your dreams, because then it's no longer just stuck within you. Now you are putting it out into the universe. Now you are setting intentions. Now you are making it real. It's like step one. Lists are powerful. List anything and everything you want. So here's what I wrote in 2017 when I had those exchanges that I shared earlier. So the first bullet point is, I want to be a self-actualized woman living up to my full potential. I want to be mentally and emotionally strong. I want to be full of wisdom. I want to be a woman that needs no validation from anyone and fully confident in any situation. I want to be full of positivity and free of resentment and anger. I want to be a woman who eases pain and guides women who are struggling towards their light and happiness. You guys, this was before I wrote the program for Spiritual Cardio. So this list is like, I'm even getting like an aha moment right now because I haven't read the list in a while and I'm doing that now. Spiritual Cardio was born in 2021 and I wrote this list in 2017. And I wrote, I want to be a woman who eases pain and guides women who are struggling towards their light and happiness. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm having a moment of like, I'm blown away right now. And then the next bullet point is I want to be a published author who writes books that help women regain power from their inner demons. That's in the works. I've written 2 book proposals, and I don't know if I will traditionally publish in the future or self-publish, but I am looking into that. And then the last bullet point is I want to be living my life purpose of sharing my human experience and path to healing to help women reach their own healing. That's the purpose of spiritual cardio. And again, I wrote this in 2017. And spiritual cardio came along in 2021. So I'm telling you, lists are powerful. You will align with the lists that you write. And some of these I'm still working on. These are works in progress. Like, to be full of positivity and free of resentment and anger, like that's a hard one because I'm a human being, right? And I have an ego and I have to check my ego constantly. I can be impatient. I can be kind of just snappy. Like, it's something that I have to work on regularly and I have to hold myself accountable. But the beauty about doing inner work is that you don't drown in shame when you see these patterns appear. You see them as they are and you don't reject them, because when you reject them, then you don't heal in rejection. The healing happens in reflection and accepting it so that you can learn from it and move forward. Stop thinking about what you don't want and start writing down what you do want so that you send this vibration, this wish list. I mean, I'm not even sure if to call it a wish list because this stuff comes true. I tapped into my inner wisdom and created a beautiful coaching program that helps women transform their lives because I tapped into my wisdom, right? And we all have inner wisdom that we can tap into once we clear the blockage. So if you're just tuning in to the Spiritual Cardio podcast and you have not heard the other episodes, start at episode 1 because from there you work your way to this episode and you do the work. There's so many tips on the Spiritual Cardio podcast. And of course, if you want to work with me and do spiritual cardio together, then you can do that via valeriezapeta.com. There's always new group sessions starting. There's new group sessions starting soon. And then also, of course, there's one-on-one coaching. But you can also just do the work that's on this podcast here. And I'll tell you this, if you don't know what you want, that's okay too. Write down what you feel curiosity about on your list. What does a future better version of you look like? And write that down. You don't have to overcomplicate this practice. It's just write down what you want. Ideally, what would your best life look like? What that list will do, it's like you're placing an order at a restaurant and the universe will deliver. And in your day-to-day, you might not see it, right? Because you're in it, you're in the bubble. But what's going to happen is that you will look back like how I just did a few minutes ago and read this list. It's now 2023. And I'm blown away at the stuff that I wrote down because some of these bullet points I had forgotten about. And it's like, wow, I'm doing that. So you will look back. You will be unrecognizable. And you will be so proud of yourself that you did this work. It's the best investment of your time. It is an investment in your personal growth. It's an investment in your self-love journey. You are cultivating your self-worth, and nobody can ever take that from you. And also, you build this muscle of self-awareness where you begin to understand your triggers. And instead of beating yourself up for your triggers, you have a full understanding of why they exist. And that produces so much compassion. So there's so many pluses to this work, you guys. It's a journey. It's messy. I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Inner work is not perfect. It's not linear. But you will experience a better version of you. You will experience joy. You will indulge in the simplicity of life, just in being. It's just a beautiful thing. So that's all I have for now. Thank you for tuning in to the Spiritual Cardio Podcast. I am going to close this episode out with a prayer. Dear God, may you illuminate our journey with your holy messengers. Show us the way to serve your will. We invite you into our hearts, today and always. Amen. Amen. This is Valerie Z. Thank you for listening to the Spiritual Cardio Podcast, and do your inner work. There's so much light at the other side of it. And of course, I'm always going to ask if you enjoyed the show, if you had any aha moments, or if you found value in the show, please share it with someone you love. I'll see you guys next time. Peace and blessings. Bye. Hey, thank you for showing up and spending some time with me. If you loved this episode, please make sure to subscribe. And for exclusive content, you can sign up for my newsletter at valeriezapeta.com. I'll see you guys at the next show.